Sverker Lindbo from Ocado. Sverker, pleasure having you here. Let's move over to the comfortable chairs here, and we can have a discussion regarding... it's really fun, because Ocado is often mentioned as the world's highest valued food retailer, but the world's lowest valued tech company. Not so low valued anymore, I think.
No, that changed a couple of weeks ago.
Tell us what happened.
So well, for those of you who don't know us, we sell food online in England. We've been doing that for 18 years, or not true, 16 years. And about 5 years ago, we said that we would only ever sell food in England, but for the rest of the world, we would sell our technology. And the technology is both the whole online trading platform, everything from procurement to logistics to whatever the call center and the whole thing, so to speak. But also the automation, so the automatic machinery we have that pack the bags for people. So we started out 5 years ago, and it took a long, long time until we actually sold anything. But in November, we sold to one of the biggest retailers in France, Casino, or Monoprix, if you've ever been to Paris. Then in January, we sold to Canada, to one of the two biggest in Canada, called Sobeys. Then in early May, we sold to a small company here in Sweden called ICA, and we will help them with their online grocery platform. And then 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever, we sold to Kroger in the US, where we're going to build 20 massive automated warehouses for doing online grocery in the US with Kroger. And that's when our share price went bananas. So we are now actually valued on the same multiples anyway as Amazon.
Okay, that's good. So, which is the big competitor out there when it comes to technology, at least, right?
It is, it is. I mean, they're still 50 times or 30 times bigger than us or something on the stock market. But we're better than them at food, and that's the main thing.
That's the main thing, because so this fight is heating up now. So the fact that Kroger buys your solution, of course, is the validation of the quality of the solution itself, right? But it also is a storm coming in the US market with Walmart, Amazon, and now Kroger trying to get in on it. And they're coming from slightly different angles to the world of food or online food. So, of course, Walmart having their own distribution network with their retail chains. Kroger as well, but now with the online platform.
Yeah, we should also know that Walmart about 2 years ago bought a company called Jet.com for about $3 billion or something. And they're an online trading platform, we could call it, but now with a lot of food as well. So they bought Jet.com to sort of get up to speed, basically.
And then we have, of course, Amazon, which is the platform of all platforms, so to say. Because you have to ask yourself the question, what is the future then? Is it to have platforms, or is it to have traditional retail plus e-commerce?
So if you look at what we're doing with ICA, it's very much focusing on the very strong ICA model, which is, for those of you who shop there, the shopkeeper owns his own store, and he has a personal relationship with his customers as much as possible, especially the smaller stores, but also in the big store. It's a very personal touch in ICA. So when we started talking to them, they said that the ICA model is absolutely sacrosanct. So we're now building a version of the ICA model online, where there will be very close sort of cooperation between the local ICA guy and the online customer. So we're, in a sense, building 1,300 online stores for ICA, one for every shopkeeper. And that's unique. No one's done that before, but it's also all ICA's business, if I call it that, or it's the business of each of those 1,300 ICA shopkeepers, and we just support them. And we will support them then with a massive automated warehouse somewhere out of Stockholm for those who live in Mälardalen, so within sort of 200 kilometers from here. But all the other local guys up north and in small villages or whatever, they would pick in store, but they would then also have the ability to order for next day delivery from this big automated warehouse as well.
Okay, so it's kind of a hybrid model then, you'd say,
Yes.
from between a platform and a pure retail.
Yes, well, I think it's the next generation for the retailer, really. I don't think it's so much of a platform. We sell it as a platform, but from ICA's point of view, it is really the tool they need to put in the hands of their 1,300 retailers so they can survive into the future.
Okay, wonderful.
And thrive, I should say, because they don't only survive, they do rather well, most of them.
Okay, yeah, they will survive and thrive, I'm sure. But as you know, Sverker, I'm really not so much into retail as I'm into data. So I would like to talk a little bit about the fact that if you're a food company of the future, and if you want to be visible in these types of systems, you'd have to have a data strategy, because you're essentially publishing your objects.
Yes.
Into platforms.
It was quite interesting. We made a study a little while ago and asked our customers what they thought about us. And it turned out that people who like expensive food thought we were fantastic for expensive food. And people who like low budget food, they thought we were the most amazing budget online store. Because as soon as they've shopped with us a couple of times, we learn what they're looking for and we show them that. So if you're a budget-conscious person that only looks for the lowest price, we don't even show you the organic kale or the, you know, whatever people that would be much more expensive and not within their budget. They can still find it if they search for it, but we don't show it to them unless they search for it. And vice versa. If you're very high-end shopper, we show you the high-end stuff that you expect to see in the shop. So it's personalized shop for everyone, really.
So this is all down to filters, I guess, and machine learning and AI and understanding, you know, what people want and crave. So this essentially means that there's a potential for these platforms with massive amounts of data to help us achieve other types of objectives, right? If I would like to have low CO2 emissions, for instance, in my food, that could be, provided you have the data around.
Of course, I mean, it's obviously a challenge to get the raw data of how much CO2 is actually in this piece of food. But that's being worked on by various people, and as soon as that data is reliable and readily available, we can then calculate the total carbon footprint for your shop. That's not that hard to do.
No, that's not that hard. But it's interesting because it means that in an environment where you have a platform, I don't know, how many items do you have in store?
We stock about 50,000 items.
50,000 at about, okay. So it's kind of a lot. And if you would like to sort through that in order to find the stuff that you'd want, you would, and that's 50,000 now, tomorrow perhaps it's 100,000, right? Or 200,000, whatever. If the provider of the food object doesn't provide you with data, then they won't be visible because people will filter, they will sort stuff.
Exactly, but it's also when you launch something, we help. So we are the major channel for small independent growers of things, manufacturers of things in the UK, because they can come to us and they can say, I have this product, I believe my target customer looks like this, and we can help them to pinpoint those target customers and make offers to them. And we might even have freebies so that you can get it for free. But we've learned that giving something to somebody for free doesn't work as well as if you give them the offer of having it for free. So when you check out from us, you get an offer to 3-4 different items that you could have for free if you want it. But it's all paid for by the supplier. But the customers then willingly selected that item to test it. So we are, and then when these suppliers have gained some tractions with Ocado and with our customers, they then have a lot of evidence, a lot of data to go to the big bricks and mortar chains to say, okay, we sell this well with Ocado customers, so therefore you should give us the chance to appear in the supermarket.
So it's online first, right?
Online first, absolutely.
Absolutely online first. I heard that story from the US as well. So you want to be verified when you go to the retail chains, where you need to be. But it's interesting. So would you say that the customers are craving more and more data around the food objects that you have in store? Well,
so we have, when you log on, you can state your preferences. And if you say, for instance, I want gluten-free, or I want lacto-free, or I want some other free, you know, we've got a long list of free things, of things that you can be free from. So you select that, and that we found is very useful to customers because they have their, and then we just don't show them the other stuff unless they specifically search for it.
Exactly. So then the traditional marketing model of waving a red box or a big screen or something doesn't really work online.
Especially doesn't work since more than half of our sales is on a very small screen that looks like that. There's not a lot of stuff you can get on here. If you think of 50,000 items in a grocery store, how do I sort of get to it? So it's all about, to get the convenience, it's all about using as much as we've learned about the customer, what they typically buy, what things that go together, and then we suggest things to them that we think have a high chance of appealing to them. And so the whole idea is that it should take no more than 5 minutes to make your weekly shop. I mean, that's
about it.
That's about it.
How much time do we spend these days?
Well, I don't know. I haven't done it for years.
Okay. No, of course you haven't. No, this is all really, really, really interesting. But let's move over to the high chairs now and invite a couple of people for a panel on this. Thank you, Sverker.